All right. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Dead Film Critics Society podcast. Unfortunately, I'll go ahead and say that we could not get Eric, my friend, on the podcast, even though we watched his recommended movie, and we're going to have him on. Unfortunately, he had some other things to do. It's unfortunate, but it's okay. We still got Aiden here, as always, from GBD Reviews on Instagram. Make sure to go check him out. Anyways, let's start off, as we always do, with some trivia. Aiden, I want to hear yours first.
All right, so since we're talking about the new Godzilla film today, I want to quickly ask you, how many Godzilla films have been made over the course of I don't know, it's been like 67 years pretty much of the franchise. Like, if you had to guess, I know that it's going to be hard to get an exact number, but like, if you had to guess.
Yeah.
Ballpark.
I'll go ahead and ballpark it. Say it's around 12. I don't know. That's my ballpark.
You're a little bit off. There's been 36 actually.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, because the older ones took less to make, right? Because it was just like people in rubber suits fighting over models. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess that's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right.
What do you got for me?
So my question's a little bit different. I wanted to ask. I wanted to ask a little bit about the actors, and I wanted to ask how many movies you think that of the actors that were in Godzilla vs. Kong are in movies that are better than Godzilla vs. Kong, or just name a couple movies that are about the same quality from the actors who are in this movie.
All right. Well, Alexander Skarsgård. I know he was in Tarzan and Battleship, so already we're not really doing so well. Godzilla King of the Monsters is already much better than those films. He hasn't done a ton, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he's really been in too many things of like a lot of note like that noteworthy, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. I know Rebecca Hall was in she's been in The Prestige. I think that's a phenomenal film. She's also British. I didn't know that until like a week ago. Like, she has an impeccable American accent. It's fantastic. But she was also in Iron Man 3. I did quite like that movie as well. I don't know if it's better than this one, but I still think they're both dumb fun. So I'm fine with them. But Millie Bobby Brown obviously has only been in one other film, and that was two other films, I should say. And that was Enola Holmes and, of course, Godzilla King of the Monsters. And I think this movie is better than Godzilla King of the Monsters. I don't know if it's better than Enola Holmes. I haven't seen that one, but yeah. And I don't know. I mean, like, Eliza Gonzalez, she was in Baby Driver. That was a much better film than this, obviously. So, I mean, not too much to say there. I don't know. I think that's all I got, man.
Okay. So I think you missed a couple that I definitely thought of. Brian Tyree Henry was in both Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, as well as If Beale Street Could Talk.
That's true.
And Julie Dennison was in Hunt for the Wilder People, and as you said, Kyle Chandler's in Manchester by the Sea, which is definitely better. I don't know. He's also in Carol, which I think was better than this film.
Yeah. Well, of course. I mean, this movie's not trying to win any awards. So, I mean,
true. Yeah.
You know. All right. So, I know we don't have a ton of news today because we're doing something a little bit different after this, but I would like to hear your piece of news first before I get into mine.
Okay, sure. Jordan Peele's been starting casting for his next film. Right now, he's got Daniel Kaluuya coming back. Obviously, Daniel Kaluuya was in his first film, Get Out. And he also got, I'm trying to remember her name. I'll say the other guy who was most recently announced. Steven Yeun is going to be, is very much in talks, a lot of talks about him being in Jordan Peele's next movie, which is very interesting because I love Steven Yeun. He's been great in everything I've seen him in. Great in Okja, great in Sorry to Bother You. Got his Oscar nomination for Minari. Keke Palmer is the other actress who's supposed to be in Jordan Peele's next film. And so I'm pretty excited for that. I think he's a great actor, and if he has a prominent role, I think him and Daniel Kaluuya, I'm very much looking forward to that. I enjoyed Jordan Peele's other films, so I'm definitely looking forward to this.
All right, well, solid casting then. Sounds great. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Now, my only piece of news that we touched on this a little bit before we started recording, but Space Jam: A New Legacy. The trailer dropped today. It was posted by LeBron James. That's how I found out about it. And of course, sideline sources. God bless. I mean, I think we talked a little bit about this already. It looks like it's gonna be pretty stupid, you know.
Yeah.
But as a huge basketball fan and as someone who's played basketball for a good portion of their life, it's nostalgic for me, right? Of course I'm gonna check it out. Like, I don't know if I'll rent it. I mean,
Hmm.
maybe I'll just wait till it comes onto a streaming service where I don't have to like pay money for it. But I mean,
Right.
I'll watch it at some point. I think it could be relatively fun. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know how crazy
Yeah.
it's gonna be.
I definitely don't
Yeah.
want to judge it just by its trailer. It didn't make me think it's probably going to be very similar to the original, which isn't
Yeah.
t- like all an entirely bad thing. Obviously, I thought there
Yeah.
might be a little bit of a quality increase with Ryan Coogler behind the project. Also, him, I think he helped write the script. But if he wants to delve into that more Space Jam Kids energy, and I don't know how much Warner Brothers would be interfering with that process as well. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I again don't want. I don't know its quality yet. Definitely will want to try to check it out at least and see if it's good. I did want to mention the other piece of news I have before we get into our other segment is that Netflix is nearing a $400 million deal for. I want you to guess what movie that is planned to be turning into a franchise. It was a 2019 movie.
No, it was Knives Out,
It
right?
was Knives
Yeah.
Out. So it's
Yeah, I'm
a
excited for
$400 million deal for Knives Out 2 and 3, with Daniel Craig reprised to star again, as well as Ryan Johnson supposed to have complete creative control, as well as apparently like very little budget limitations.
No,
Which
I fuck with that actually. I appreciate that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting though that they're paying. Like people are wondering where this $400 million is going because, like, how much money could it possibly take to make a Knives Out or I don't know. I don't know
I think they're
exactly.
making two though. They're making like two sequels. They might be shooting
True,
them
but
back to
like
back. And I think
it's
they're going to exotic locations. But
yeah,
you are right though. That
it
is an
shouldn't take that.
absurd amount
Yeah,
of
it's
money.
a lot of money. It's a stupid
Yeah.
amount of money.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm definitely interested. It's interesting that they're turning into a trilogy. I don't know. People probably don't love this choice overall, and I can see why. I'm okay with it because like it was clear with Knives Out, Ryan Johnson does have some writing talent in that people, especially who liked his other scripts, might wanted him to do something different, and that with more
Yeah.
Knives Out movies, he's just going to be repeating himself. And, people, obviously his worst movie is part of a franchise, and now he's kind of like creating his own, which
Yeah.
obviously he's going to have complete creative control. So it's going to be all on his shoulders. And he obviously has been a little bit hit or miss, so I think people are maybe a little worried that he's trying to go this direction. But I'm definitely still interested
Yeah.
for sure. It'll be
I mean,
interesting.
I guess it depends on who you ask. Because honestly, I think most of his filmography's been pretty solid. I mean, like I know that Last Jedi had its problems, but I still think it's a solid movie. And I hate that people keep on crapping on it, man. It's not like the Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones bad. Like for real, you got to just ease up a little bit. And he's also even his directorial debut. I don't know. There's a really Brick. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It's basically about like a teenager and like he's just in high school and turns into a private investigator to like figure out some crimes and stuff. It's pretty cool. But
Okay.
the man has some great writing talent, and I can't wait to see where he goes with this. I just hope
Yeah.
it's good though.
All right.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I'm still definitely going to look forward to seeing these movies eventually and whenever that
Yeah.
happens. All right. So, next we're going to get into something a little different. I decided I wanted to try to do a tier list for the podcast. I think that would be kind of fun. And we're going to do one. What's the title exactly? I'm going to read the exact title. It's the Ultimate Diverse Men Edition Tier List Maker. So, yeah. So I thought this would be kind of fun. I think I did this myself one time, and I thought it was kind of funny. And I thought it would be cool if me and you evaluate, who we deem a handsome and good-looking / good personality celebrity, And
Alright.
I thought that would be kind of fun. So let me go ahead and
I'm
share my
down, I'm
screen
down.
real quick. And,
Yeah. Yeah. We probably shouldn't do this with women. Just otherwise we might get canceled in the future.
Yeah.
Just we want to be
Plus,
careful
I
here.
I double checked if there was a list like that. I don't think there really are. There are a lot more men ones, which I could
Okay.
argue that's sexist, but
Well, that makes sense,
we don't
yeah.
need to dive into that can of worms. And Anyways, let me. If you tap into my.
Oh, this
Yeah.
is cool.
All right. We probably won't do all of these. I don't even know most of these people, anyways.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Let's start with Ryan Gosling. So we got the marriage tier, the absolute sexy tier, daddy hot tier, pretty tier, it, no thanks, and then the electric chair. So where does Ryan Gosling go? I'm thinking somewhere around here.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the second from the top.
All right, let's
Yeah,
do that.
there you go.
Pedro Pascal.
Uh, all
Some
right.
like here,
No, I like one down.
here.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like the man. He actually has more rugged charm, but he's just not.
All
That's
right.
all.
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely daddy hot.
All right.
No, I'm joking.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'd
No,
be
like
willing
if
to
you
put
want to
him
put him
here.
there, it's fine. We can
Yeah.
do that. It's okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, Bill Hader.
He's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think. Justin Bieber.
Uh,
Oh no, I kind of want to put him at the bottom
don't put
tier.
him in. Don't put him in the electric.
Why not?
chair.
I kind of, I kind of want to though.
just put him in pretty. I think that's reasonable enough. You know.
Let's.
Clearly, he's got something, man. Have you seen his wife?
Did you see this
goodness.
mustache though?
I
Anyone
know,
can
but
get
he
a, you know, like you. Anyone can attract a woman with enough money. That's what, and I don't know. Can we
No,
we
but
compromise and put him there? Because I'd put him in the electric tier, but
All right, fine.
we can.
Fine.
All right.
Agree to disagree.
Sure. All right. Taika Waititi. Honestly, I'd put him here.
Yeah, fair enough. That's
All
a good
right.
point.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Rami Malek. I'd put
Pretty.
him like here personally.
Yeah. I'd agree
Let's
with that.
keep him there. Chris Pratt. Either one of these two.
Now, that where Jonah Hill is.
Really? I don't know if I want to.
Yeah.
We'll compromise and
All
put
right,
him
fine,
here.
fine. We'll compromise.
All right, we'll compromise. Got to compromise. Robert Downey Jr.
Okay, definitely daddy hot for real.
Okay, I'm willing to do that.
Dude,
Donald
it's alright,
Glover.
man. Come on, man.
I mean,
Donald Glover?
Donald
Yeah,
Glover.
right there.
Here? All right.
No. One
Oh,
down.
one down? Okay.
Yeah, pretty. Yeah.
All right. Tom Hiddleston.
It's right up there with RDJ, I think. Yeah.
All right.
100%.
I'm going to put him there.
Yeah, for real.
Jaden Smith. I put him pretty low. Maybe. I don't know if I'd left it here.
I'd say
him
no
here.
thanks.
Oh, yeah, let's put him
Yeah.
there. Seems fair enough. Brad Pitt.
With Ryan Gosling for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm fine with that. I'd probably put him
Sure, Isaac.
there. I put him here.
All right. All right, that's
That's
fine.
what I think. Michael B. Jordan. He's pretty high up there. So, here?
Right with Brad Pitt. Yeah.
Yeah.
For real.
All right.
I,
Benedict Cumberbatch. He's somewhere. He's one
Yeah.
of these two.
yeah.
This
right
one.
there.
This one.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
James McAvoy. McAvoy.
Yeah, right there. Pretty.
All right. Jonathan Majors.
Who's Jonathan Majors again?
He was in Defy Bloods. He was in a couple. I don't know if you know. I'd put him here. I don't know.
All right, fine.
All right. Idris Elba.
Okay, right up at the top, 100%.
Here?
Yeah, my mom is a big fan of that guy.
All right.
Actually. Yeah,
Okay.
she actually entered a contest to like try and win a date with him one time.
Oh,
That was
okay.
cool. Yeah.
We talked about him already a little bit. Steven Yeun. He's pretty. I think he's.
All right, fine.
All right, we're gonna put him.
I'll
there.
give you an executive
All right.
decision.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Andy Samberg.
Yes.
We're gonna put.
Yes.
Yeah, all right, let's do it. Yeah, Mahershala.
Pretty.
Pretty. Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
Chris Evans. Join us
Right.
here or
there.
here. Here.
No, Daddy Hot.
All right.
Yeah.
John Hamm.
Right there. Yep.
Here. All
With
right.
Chris Evans. Yep.
All right. Kevin Harrelson Jr. Do you know he's been
I'd say
in
right there. Is good.
here?
Yeah.
All right. Yahya Abdul Mateen.
Okay, up right there beside Michael B. Jordan.
My oh okay. Oh okay.
Yeah,
All right. I'm
dude.
definitely good with
Like,
that.
have you seen his like gym and fridge tour from GQ? It's
No.
insane what this guy does to keep in shape. Oh my goodness.
Adam Driver. I mean, he's pretty high
Yes,
up. All
with
the
those
way.
bloody, with those moves and bloody, what's it called? The Last Jedi. That
Oh
was
yeah.
insane.
All right.
uh,
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that. Um, Seth Rogen.
yeah, right there.
Here.
Yeah, sure, why not?
All right.
Yeah.
Winston Duke.
Uh, I think that's pretty.
All
That's
right.
all right. Yeah.
John David Washington.
Yeah, right there
Beside John.
beside yeah, I think.
Oh, okay. All right, we're gonna put him
Yeah,
up
dude,
there.
he's pretty charming like his
Dev
dad.
Patel. I mean, he's pretty high up there for me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah.
Where do you want to
Right.
where do you, here
Uh yeah,
or
that's there.
all right? Let's put him
No,
there.
no, that's good. Yeah, we're good.
All
Yeah.
right. All right. Cool. Zac Efron.
Yeah,
No.
all right. Not really my cup of tea, to be honest.
All right. I can definitely agree with
Yeah.
that. Shawn
Yeah.
Mendes.
Okay, all the way up at the top. Let's go.
All the way.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, for
I'll let you have that executive decision. I wouldn't put him all the way, but I'll let you
yeah, no,
definitely.
I love him. He's awesome, man, for real.
Hugh Jackman.
Okay, right there. Yeah.
Here.
Yep.
All right.
No, no, one below that.
Oh, below that. All right. Let's put him beside John
Yeah.
Hamm. Daniel Kaluuya. Pretty high up
Yeah. Yeah, I think right there.
there. All
Yeah.
right. Pete Davidson.
Uh, all right. Let's give him all right because I feel bad, man. Ariana Grande broke that poor man's heart, honestly.
Oh,
It's not nice.
we gotta electric chair that guy quickly.
Who is that?
All right, that was Army Hammer.
Oh yeah, no, good point.
Harry Styles.
Well, uh, I guess he's pretty. I'm not the biggest fan of him, but that's just me.
Okay. Do you want to compromise and put him here? Because I think he's pretty high.
All right, fine,
All
fine.
right.
Aren't you supposed to be the straight one here?
Who says I can't objectively judge how
Hey,
attractive
no,
a man
I'm
is?
just playing.
You
I'm
know?
just playing, man. You're good. Don't worry.
All right. Timothy Chalamet. He's pretty high up there.
Yeah, right there. Yeah,
All
no,
right.
no, that's a good point. Yeah,
Mr. Tom Holland. It's
all
also
the way up at the top.
all the way. All right.
Yeah, I like Tom Holland. He's cool. Let's do a few more of these.
Well,
and
yeah.
then
Let's do,
probably
yeah.
go
We
shake
should
into
we should
movies.
move on.
Yes, we do have to.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Right there with Rami Malek and you know.
All right.
Hey.
I can agree with that. Simu Liu. He's gonna be Shang-Chi. If you
Oh,
don't
that
know.
guy. Oh, wait,
Yeah.
from Kim's Convenience. Yeah,
Yeah,
no. Right. Yeah.
he's pretty high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's put him there. All right.
Yeah.
Paul Rudd.
Right there.
Here.
Actually, wait, no,
Oh.
one above, one above,
One above?
one above.
Here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, like, because he's like 51, right? It makes sense.
I mean, I guess so.
Yeah. There
I
you
don't
go.
wanna judge age. All right. Noah Centineo.
All right.
All right.
I don't get the hype, honestly.
Yeah, it's
Like,
true.
He looks like a nice boy, but I don't know. Just not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth.
Right there. Yeah.
All right,
I think we can agree on
we'll do two more. Let's do John Boyega
Alright.
as our second last. Where do we want to put John Boyega?
Right there's good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Who do you should pick the last one.
Okay. Henry Cavill.
Where's that?
He's right there between. He's right by Will Coulter. Not Will Poulter. No, sorry, Will Coulter from the.
I don't know
From
who that is
Luke
either,
Cage.
so I am struggling.
Okay, you know what Luke Cage looks like in the TV show? He should be right there. He's like two across from Zayn Malik.
I don't know who these people are.
Right up at the top. There you go. Other way.
Oh, there he is. Okay, found him.
Yeah.
Jeez, that was a struggle. Where are we putting him?
One above.
Here?
There you go. Yep, that's
Alright.
good.
All right.
All right, sweet.
All right. So that was our first tier list. I'm pretty
Cool
happy
segment,
with it.
man.
Yeah. Well,
Determining people's value based off their looks.
exactly.
Woo-hoo.
I mean,
Awesome.
exactly. That's why Andy Samberg and Taika Waititi are here, of course.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. All right.
Um,
Yeah. So that was kind of fun. All right.
yeah,
But I think it's
that
about
was
time we
cool.
get started talking about the movies.
All right.
Let's start with the big one, the kaiju one, if you will, the Godzilla versus Kong. I just finished watching it recently, and yeah, you know, is I
I
got
know
some.
you're not the biggest fan of
I
this
like,
movie, these types of
yeah,
movies.
it is what
Yeah,
it is. Like, I can see why people enjoy it. I can see why people aren't a fan of it. I'm kind of in the middle. I say I'm not.
yeah,
You know, I'd say that. One thing I had to disagree with. I'll start off with what I disagree from your review because I agree with most of it. I'll disagree
yeah.
with Brian. I think I don't know why. I think you don't like. I don't understand why you don't like Brian Tyree Henry. I think you didn't directly like say
No, no,
him
no.
his
I like him in what's it called, Widows. I think him and Daniel Kaluuya together. I
right.
just don't think he was very good in
Okay.
this one. I just
Right.
felt like most of his jokes were forced. There was only one I actually, to be honest, but that's not his
Okay.
fault personally. That's just the way the film was written.
Okay. So you had more a
Yeah,
problem with the writing because I remember you were also
yeah,
complaining about some of the comedy in If Beale Street Could Talk, and I think he provides most of that. There obviously isn't a ton
yeah,
of it, but he provides most of that does exist in there. So I
yeah.
don't know. I
Yeah,
was
I
just
do like
wondering
Brian
if
Tyree
it's
Henry in
like,
other projects, though. I just think in some cases, like his jokes can come off as
you know,
forced, but that's just
I kind of
me.
liked him. I think he was
Yeah.
maybe my favorite part of the movie overall. Maybe, just
Oh
maybe. I don't
wow.
know. Like I enjoyed his scenes a lot. I don't think the writing was too good, but I think he made the most of the pretty mid-tier comedy, if you will.
All
And
right, well,
I think he
that's
made
a
the
fair
most of
point.
it. And
Also, poor Julian Denson. Guy had nothing to do in this
he
film. He was just
he did have nothing to do other than do a password wrong and then throw some
yeah, I
alcohol in
know.
a computer.
Yeah, I gotta say,
Yeah.
like the human characters in this series, like they've gotten progressively thinner. I think in the first movie in Godzilla, like from 2014, that was the film with the most
Yeah.
three-dimensional human characters, and now like they've taken the focus completely away with that from that, which is fine. I don't entirely mind that.
Yeah. I think you
Like I
also
did think the
do want
character
to
with first,
yeah. You do want to try to
yeah,
find a balance between having the
yeah,
good human characters and having all your action. And I'll say the action was very enjoyable, at least from
yeah,
like a action standpoint. I don't know, visually it was a little maybe I don't know, there wasn't too much, at least in the action scenes there wasn't a lot of uniqueness to it. I like some of the shot choices. I think the neon city kind of atmosphere works
oh my
pretty
God,
well.
yeah,
I think that works pretty
great,
well overall. I like the creativity of utilizing the different parts of I think my favorite fight from a monster point, at least from like the kind of props they use, if you will, is the one where he's like first at the Hollow Earth thing and he's fighting those like snake flying things and he's
yeah,
like, and then because I enjoyed the look of it a little more because it also has that green blood. I found that like
yeah,
what I enjoy from these MonsterVerse movies, just seeing these animals having different colored blood, a little bit. I enjoyed that
yeah,
enough, and the big kaiju fights, if you will, between the two, they were enjoyable. They were very watchable. I definitely won't
yeah.
deny that. Obviously, this isn't my favorite thing in the world, but it was definitely good for what it was. I think the visual effects were pretty well done in this movie. I wouldn't be surprised or mad at all if this got like nominated for best visual effects at next year's Oscars. Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
no, I
enjoyable.
wouldn't be surprised either. Yeah.
Um, it was kind of like like a less cringe version of Batman versus Superman. The fact that they ended up, teaming up at the end to
Yeah,
fight a
no, that's a
bigger
good point.
threat.
To fight a man-made monstrosity. I mean,
Yeah.
like I do agree with it there. I'm just glad they didn't do the whole. That would have been shitty, but whatever.
Yes.
But honestly, I really enjoyed the fights. I especially liked. I mentioned this in my review. They actually do some forced perspective. Like you actually get to see through the monster's eyes
I
while they're
feel like they
fighting
only
each
did
other.
that like once though, or maybe
They did that,
twice.
I think, like twice in the movie, but the times they did, I was like, whoa, I ain't never seen that before. Like, that is
Okay.
so cool. Like, I don't know why no one's ever thought to do that before. And, like, it's
I
such an
feel like
interesting
there's
technique.
no like you said, there's been 36 Godzilla movies. I feel like there's no way, no out of those 36 movies, no one's thought to do a POV shot from one of the monsters. I swear, there's got to
Yeah.
be at least one
Well,
of
I
those
mean, like,
36. And maybe this is
maybe,
maybe,
but
but this is like the only one
yeah.
you've seen it, and it's like, and I agree, it's a good shot to use. It should be probably in all of them.
Yeah.
It's solid.
And I'm glad
I
they also don't do the, like, the big sweeping camera shots as well. They don't really do a lot. appreciate that. They like, especially when the fighting starts, like when you're setting up the fight, you see some of those, but like when you're
Yeah.
actually in the action, you really don't see a lot of that, and I do appreciate that. It's a lot more reminiscent of the original Godzilla movie. Not the original, but you know what I mean, like the original
Yeah,
for
the
this.
the original
So
kind of like energy that you want from these movies.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And like I think this is definitely something that's almost essential for theater experiences. I don't know how much you like enjoy watching this at home as much. I think it would definitely be better in a theater.
Yeah, I would
For
agree,
sure.
honestly.
I
Yeah,
I think I liked how Kong had more personality in this movie than he did in like
yeah,
Godzilla vs. Kong Skull Island. I also enjoyed the actors more than I did because I think some people were saying how like in Skull Island they were embracing the dubness of the thin characters. Here they don't do that
yeah,
as much, but I feel like they add a little more comedy and kind of more energy to the characters, so that somewhat compensates for their thinness. I think
yeah.
the most boring actor, honestly, was Alexander Skarsgård. I didn't care for him like at all. I think it was
No,
cool.
he,
Okay,
yeah,
that
I'd
is one of
agree.
my favorite things about the movie is the creative. We're going to spoiler territory just in case you've seen it, but how at the end when Kong's down, that they use the freaking ship as like an AED. It's just like just learn first aid. I guess that's the true message of the movie. Learn first aid. That way, if you need to save the world from a giant robot Godzilla, you can just do, you can bring a use a ship as a defibrillator for Kong.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was kind of
That was
fun.
kind of cool stuff, though.
I liked
Honestly, I
I
mean, like,
liked I liked that.
yeah,
They kind of set that up earlier, saying it's like, oh, this thing has massive energy, but also it's a little dumb.
yeah,
It's like at least they included that on like saying it all instead of all of a sudden coming up with some random stupid thing to get him alive. It like made sense, which is better than I
yeah,
can say for a good amount of movies of this kind of ilk. Like Aliens, I watched Aliens recently and has like it's very famous for like that stomper thing at the end that they show in the beginning and then bring in the end, and
yeah,
people think that's really smart. It's like it's smart to a point, but like when you're writing a whole script, you just think, oh, how am I gonna finish this up? Well, you just think of other stuff that was in the beginning of the script, and you're smart enough, you'll just be like, oh, I can use this kind of thing, and just write it into the back again, and just it's not that
yeah,
hard. It's like people think that I feel like when people praise that kind of stuff, most of the time at least, when you use multiple ones to make a really smart and creative story, I can praise it. But this is like one item, right?
yeah,
So I kind of don't like when people say, "Oh, this is brilliant. Look how they used this like stomper thing at the end." When I'm just like,
yeah.
that's just like basic writing. That's just
Yeah.
like I think you've been watching too many movies where they just come up with some random stupid stuff.
Yeah,
Which
like I'm like a Deus Ex Machina that type of
yeah,
movie.
just some stupid ex machina
Yeah,
thing that doesn't make any sense. And
yeah,
like there are different levels of that, which tech are mostly nitpicks for plot. Like you shouldn't see that as like, oh, look at all these ex machina points. This means it's a bad movie. But like if it takes you out of the movie, I think that's a pretty big thing. And I don't think anything in this movie really took me out of it. I
no,
think the part where they go to before they go to Hollow Earth is definitely kind of boring, and I wasn't that fascinated with Hollow Earth because I think it was making a lot of references about the kind of monster verse that I did not understand since I've only watched Kong Skull Island. And yeah, I don't
yeah,
know. Everything else was pretty quick and straight to the point. I kind of like the podcast a little bit. I guess
yeah,
it's like weird, but I can see a character who works for like a giant company always wanting to like come up with giant conspiracy theories about them, and this is just
yeah,
one guy who happened to be right about it. I don't
yeah.
know, like Millie
Also,
Bobby
huh?
Brown's character. Sorry, I wanted to quickly touch on Millie Bobby Brown's character quickly, but it just like
Yeah,
I didn't. It was a little weird how she just like all of a sudden believed this random guy, and like that kind of thing to get them to be together for the rest of the plot was a little stupid, but I can sort of forgive
uh,
it. It is what it is.
yeah, it is what it is. I mean, I guess that's a good point. I also did really like the score by Junkie XL. That
Oh
was
yeah,
pretty good. Yeah, no, solid stuff. I mean, like he's done quite a few good films. I mean, like even the films that aren't so great. I mean, like he did Batman v Superman with Hans Zimmer. I really like that score as well. That was probably one of his better scores. And he also did, I believe, what's it called? Kind of one that doesn't get talked about as much. That Tomb Raider movie that came out a couple years ago. Do you remember that one at all? Or
no,
it had like Alicia Vikander. It was pretty forgettable, but I did like the score in that one. I think he's really good at movie scores, and I like that there's more musicians coming over to do film scores now. That's kind of a good trend that I've seen. I mean, like they all do a really
Yeah.
good job, and they kind of bring their own unique like I guess take on what a
Yeah.
film score should be.
Yeah,
So
and it's like
yeah,
I'm fine. Like, it's not obviously I'm not opposed to having musicians do compose it. I do think that there are a lot of people who focus mostly just on movie composing who are better, and I
yeah,
think, um, yeah, I don't know how to say about that because I feel like obviously you do want some like whenever a good musician makes a score, it's great, but also like it's not really a thing. Like, I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say, but like there are a lot of good composers that are just like focusing just on movies. I just think a lot of them are just getting ignored a good amount of the time, and it's like, which is why I kind of think that's why a good amount of musicians like maybe want to do film scores first, but kind of have to have their own independent music career to kind of like make enough money. I don't know what's going on with
yeah.
that personally because there's only like there can only be so many John Williams, Hans Zimmers, and Alexander Desplots of the world. But there are a lot of
Yeah.
other great people who are like make or focus on movie scores who are doing really good work. And I don't definitely don't think Junkie XL is doing bad work. I think he's very good. I really like his Mad Max Fury Road score in particular. I think
Oh
that's definitely
yeah.
his best.
Oh,
I
I
think
forgot he did that one.
yeah, he apparently also ended up doing the music for the Snyder cut.
Yes, he did. Yeah, that's another one that he
And
did.
I think people
Yeah.
were enjoying that. And he, he's pretty good. I definitely don't think he's anything amazing as far as a score goes. Like, I think that's part of the direction point when the points they use music I don't think were the best. Obviously the music didn't
Yeah.
interfere, didn't make it stupid.
Yeah.
It's like, I enjoyed
No,
it.
no, I get what you're trying to say. It's all right. Yeah.
I'm kind of
I mean,
criticizing it, but I enjoyed the music. It's good music. It could be a lot
yeah, no, it
worse.
is good music. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't. Obviously, we probably shouldn't spend. I don't know. I think we've already said pretty much all that needs to be said. We need to get onto our other movie. But before we do, as far as the score, like we always do, what do you think you'd give this one?
Yeah, I give this like a 6 out of 10. It's solid. I
Well,
enjoyed it a little more
yeah,
than Kong Skull Island. I think has
yeah,
better, bigger fights, and the kaiju stuff was better than any action that was in Kong Skull Island. And I think I
yeah.
enjoy the actors a little more. That might just be personal preference, but
Yeah, no, I mean, like I gave this one a 6.5 out of 10. I don't know if it's my favorite. First Godzilla, I like that one the best. I mean, like I know it doesn't show as many like monster fights as
yeah.
you'd expect to have a movie titled Godzilla, but I do like
Hmm.
the approach it does take. So yeah,
Okay. So do you think out of you watched how many four movies for this before you watched Kong God, or three or four before
I'm
you
just trying to
watched?
decide. Oh, three before I watched this one. Yeah,
Okay. Which one was your favorite? Was it Godzilla, the first one?
yeah, this is the first
The
Godzilla is always my
2014
favorite. Like
version?
yeah, the
Yeah,
2014
okay.
version.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know. I'm like I don't know. I want to get a little bit mad at you for like I thought you were about to give Kong versus so wait, what would you give Godzilla though?
the first Godzilla.
Yeah, out of 10. Just curious.
I think I gave it like a 6.5 or a 7 if I'm not mistaken, something
Okay.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna push this with you because I think you need to rewatch If Beale Street Could Talk because you're giving If Beale Street Could Talk about the same scores as these movies, and
Yeah.
as an art person, the type of
Yeah,
I
no.
gotta disagree with that
Like
severely.
I totally get that. That's a fair point to
And
make,
like
but
even
at the
though I
same time, I
can,
don't know.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can acknowledge that maybe not everyone thinks it's a 10 out of 10 movie like me, but I think objectively you gotta give it like it's like it's doing a lot
Yeah.
from a
Yeah, no, it,
cinematography
it is doing a
standpoint.
lot. I don't know. I didn't like it as much as some people did. I don't know why. I think it's a great story. I don't know. I always kind of felt myself being jolted awake a lot. I don't know if you know what I mean. Like I felt kind of bored in some scenes, which is really weird. Like I don't know why, but I mean, because for all intents and purposes, it's a pretty like unsettling story. So I don't know why
Yeah.
I would feel bored, but I mean, I don't know if it's something I really want to rewatch either. But I just maybe I'm more biased towards Godzilla because like I saw it when it first came out,
Yeah.
and I just saw all these memories with it. But I don't know. Maybe that's just what it is. But
Yeah.
who knows?
For
Yeah, for the
sure.
last, I'm not trying to be taken too seriously here, man. I mean,
Yeah, I know.
yeah, I'm a student
I
film
know.
critic. I think that's like it's kind of a joke to begin with, but that's fine.
Yeah, like I'm not
We're,
saying I'm just saying it's like
Yeah, no, it's okay.
I'm
It's
I'm
okay. Yeah.
disappointed. I'm expressing my disappointment in you a little bit because I gotta
Yeah.
do that sometimes. And that's why also I want you to rewatch Scott Pilgrim, and then I'll show you why it's kind of brilliant. I don't know if I can change your mind about the ending. That's like
Yeah.
I can understand why you hate it. I don't think it matters too much in the overall scheme of the movie. So, but I'll
Yeah.
show you why like the pretty much the rest of it is good one day.
Yeah. All right.
Anyways, we should probably start talking about the movie that my friend Eric recommended. He said it was one of his favorite movies, and I can understand that from a certain perspective. We're talking about Ender's Game, 2013 film directed by Gavin Hood, who also directed X-Men Origins Wolverine, and this movie called
Uh,
Eye in the Sky. Apparently that was decent. Yeah. I don't know. This is a movie. That's what I gotta say
yeah.
to start off
I
with.
mean, I gotta say, I remember like when it first came out, like 10-year-old Aiden, let me get this straight. Let me just tell you, like he loved like movies. Obviously I still do, but like I just loved everything to a fault. Like I never had anything really bad to say about it, but this is the first movie I can remember falling asleep watching because I gotta say, it's pretty boring for the
Hmm.
most part. I think the visual effects are good. I do like the twist ending, but I mean, I don't know. Other than that, it just feels like there was a lot of missed potential there. And I mean, like this was at a time where there was so many YA films coming out, right? You know, because of the Hunger Games and
Yeah.
shit like that. But I mean, it just doesn't really separate itself in the pack. And
Mm-hmm.
actually, consequently, it was one of the biggest box office bombs of the 2010s. Actually, the studio lost like I don't know, it's like close to $100 million off this film. Did not do very well, but I mean, yeah, not the best film, but I mean, I can understand why your friend might like it. I don't know what you have to say about it, but yeah,
Yeah. Um.
yeah,
I would say I was never really bored or angry or like appalled at
yeah,
how bad the movie was. It was
yeah,
just kind of there, but there's also definitely nothing
yeah,
great. The visual effects are mostly well done. I don't the video, the video game thing that they do.
yeah.
That's not very well done at all. It's definitely worse than like I don't know, Black Panther rhinos. That's something that's not. I know that's a VFX thing
Yeah,
people don't like. I think it's definitely worse.
yeah,
The book isn't the strongest material as well, especially like
yeah,
there's a lot of more interest. I think it talks a little more about kind of the headspace of this character, but you really don't get that from this movie because they kind of have to rush him through to the top to get to this final battle thing, and the rest of it, but in between is pretty weak. The stuff where he's like fighting, like the hand-to-hand combat stuff doesn't make any sense because like they're not fighting people. It's like why are they doing that?
yeah,
And I can and like the games thing that is like the majority of the plot of this movie. It's kind of like Quidditch, but like I don't think it's even as entertaining as Quidditch. And of course, Quidditch is nowhere close to like the main plot of any Harry Potter movie. So
no,
it's a bit
that's
reductive
true.
in
Yeah,
that way. And I can understand it, like it's supposed to be a game that teaches strategy, but it felt like what they were doing at the end was a lot different. Other than obviously there was a clear parallel between the strategy they use in one of those games to what they do at the end of the movie, but and that's like the
yeah,
only thing I can maybe commend about this screenplay because the rest of it is very dumb. It's pretty basic and like the twist is good, like you said. I enjoy it. It makes sense. It works.
yeah.
But it also feels like, and it doesn't feel too preachy, but it also feels like it's trying to make a comment on child soldiers, like, oh, you're gonna wreck this kid, oh, you're gonna destroy them, and I'm just like, yeah, but like, how are we supposed to take that seriously at all when we're in like this sci-fi thing and they're just like playing games
Wearing
right now,
ridiculous
and they
outfits.
don't even know it's real, really, and
Yeah,
the way they're supposed, like the way they try to create sympathy for like as the character that Asa Butterfield plays, and I think he's a decent actor, but like
yeah.
he's not very good in this movie. The good amount is the dialogue really kind of sucks. It's not very good. I'll say
No,
that. The
I would
dialogue's
agree.
very,
Yeah,
very, very weak.
yeah.
Doesn't work too well.
No,
Yeah, Viola Davis was very useless in this film. I can't.
yeah.
It's like
I'm just glad she's gotten better work since this movie because I mean,
yeah.
like, it was weird because she had that like one movie, it's like this mother of like this child in a Catholic school was being like sexually abused. That was like her breakout role.
Yeah, and
That kind
Doubt.
of brought her into the mainstream, and
Yeah,
then she had that whole period after that where she kind of made some okay films. And then of course she's been nothing but rock solid since then. I'm pretty sure. So I mean, it's nice that. Yeah, but it's nice that she was able to like get past a film like this because I mean, like for some people, this could have maybe just kind of made their career kind of fizzle out a little bit. I mean, I think Harrison Ford's was starting to a little bit, just a tiny bit before, like of course, the new Star Wars film came out, right? So I
yeah,
don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it really did anybody who was in really
yeah. It's
any
weird
favors because
how
I can't remember the last thing Asa Butterfield was in. Can you? Like,
he's most recently been in like the Sex Education series. It's on Netflix. That's
okay,
doing
well,
pretty well, and
okay,
I've
that's a
watched
fair
that. I
point.
enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, it's like his. There aren't a lot of emotional scenes, which is a good thing because the ones that are
yeah,
supposed to be emotional aren't very good, and the ones what one part is the actor, the other part's the dialogue. They together they
yeah,
don't really create a good thing. I could see this book. I don't think like I said, the material is kind of weak. I don't think it could be anything better
yeah,
than a set out of 10 with like a better director, but it wasn't a
yeah,
better director. Um,
yeah.
I don't. Like there's a I don't know I'm kind of interested in seeing the audio. There's like audio commentary with the DVD that I borrowed. I'm kind of interested to hear how he explains this movie and if he's like proud of it at all because like
Yeah.
obviously it didn't do very well critically or at the box office, so I don't know if there's anything to
It's
there's
pretty
anything to
mixed reviews. It's like
yeah
62 on RT or something like that, and
yeah
then
which isn't
51 on
very good
Metacritic.
for Rotten Tomatoes. I hold Rotten Tomatoes to a pretty low standard. Like anything below an 80 probably isn't going to be very good, and
Yeah,
I
I
very much
mean,
agree with that.
it depends though. I mean, like I think there are some films that, while they're not very good, they're still enjoyable. I mean, like if you take
Yeah,
something like Madison, which is just pure Adam Sandler nonsense, but it's still fun to watch. I mean, that was kind
sure.
of at the height of his career,
But
so I don't
yeah,
know if you probably
and
haven't seen that one,
of course,
but
yeah, and like I haven't,
yeah,
and I can
yeah,
see like there are a bunch of films that are like fun enough to watch, and that's kind of what saves them from being absolute garbage. And I can
yeah,
somewhat save this for this film. I can somewhat say that because it wasn't boring at all, like I said.
yeah.
But there like I can't believe Ben Kingsley should not be on the poster first of all because he's supposed to be like a twist character because he's supposed to be like the wise old the commander who apparently like sacrificed himself to save everybody. And it doesn't do a great job at story building because really all we see is just like a lot of shots of the one spacecraft they stay in for the training thing and then like his house. We have no idea what's like going on in the rest of this world, how they repaired after it. It just seems like everything's normal. So you never really feel that like this sense of urgency. Oh, we got to kill these bugs because look at how we had to change and like rebuild because everything's normal. Like they still have great technology and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And like the enemy, like they're supposed to be like, oh, at the end of the movie it's like, oh, I empathize with them now and I like even like but like, oh, they were trying to communicate with me even though they're very unremarkable. The creature
Yeah.
designs and most of the designs of like the world overall are pretty boring. They're not
No,
very
I'd agree.
memorable.
Yeah.
um
Erica's gonna kill us for trashing his favorite movie, isn't he?
I don't know, yeah, like
Yeah.
I don't know if it's his favorite.
Well, one of his
Most
favorites, I think you
yeah, one
said.
of his
Something like
favorites.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford's actually not bad. I'd say he's pretty
Yeah.
solid. He gave the same performance he's given in almost every like movie where he has to have at least some emotional depth, like a little bit in
Yeah.
Star Wars, a little bit in like Blade Runner. It's pretty the same character except the material is obviously worse than Blade Runner or Star Wars, which I guess is why they casted him. It's like, oh, he's been in these movies. Let's throw him in
Yeah.
another sci-fi movie, and this was yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why they thought this was a good idea because it's like a much smaller property than the Hunger Games, but they spent like I think
And
a lot more money than the first Hunger
actually,
Games spent.
I have to just see how much money they spent on this film. I think I
Because
had it written
I
down
mean,
here
there's a lot of
somewhere.
CGI, right? And
Yeah.
most of it's well done, so obviously they clearly cared about it. Also, I wanted to mention there's this actor who I watched in this movie recently called Monos. It was this like how much money did they spend? Like 200.
115 million, and it only made 105 million at the
How
box
much?
office.
How much?
115 million, and it only made 120.
Wow. I mean,
Yeah.
that's pretty bad most of the time. Like, honestly, it's around the same as I thought it would be worse than that. Honestly, I thought it might not even hit 100
Yeah.
million. Yeah, it's really.
Yeah, it
I
also
want to.
generated a lot of controversy as well because the author of the original book was very against like homosexuality and same-sex marriage, so that may have contributed to
That
that. I think.
probably. And yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, way to have.
definitely didn't help things. I
Yeah, it
don't know if
definitely
that was
didn't
the main
help. Like,
factor, but
yeah, like that's weird. I don't know if the studio knew that beforehand. This feels like a very miscalculated studio
it was a
choice.
very miscalculated move to make this one,
Yeah.
but
Um,
yeah,
yeah, it's also it's very bizarre that Viola Davis, a four-time Oscar nominee and one win, is basically the sidekick to a secondary character in this movie, like Harrison
yeah.
Ford, who's definitely not. He's like, I guess he's like the
She's so
second
much
biggest
better than
character.
that,
Haley
honestly.
Steinfeld, who's also usually pretty good, her character is so empty. She's like,
Yeah,
oh, I care about this kid like immediately, just because,
yeah.
and that's
She's just
it.
the love interest, pretty much, honestly.
Yeah, but like they really didn't have much chemistry. We didn't understand like why they should care about each other at all,
Yeah,
and like they could have focused on that a little more than some of the other stuff they were focusing on because like that like especially at the
yeah,
end that last scene really relies on them actually having a relationship, and they really don't.
yeah.
So it's not very emotional at all. And then it's like, oh, I'm gonna take these eggs and I'm gonna start the civilization again because I'm admiral and I'm just gonna do whatever I want. And then the movie ends. It's just like,
I gotta say, I hate to tell you this, dude, but like I'm actually falling asleep thinking about this movie again. It's really making me feel bored, honestly. Like, well, how can some movie? I've never seen a movie this average, to be honest. I mean, it's just aggressively average. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
It's
I
just good
mean,
background noise. It's just like what you put on if you're trying to do Netflix and chill, honestly. Like, this is the
it's
type
kind
of
of
movie
weird to
you would
do it
put
like
on.
to this kind of movie. Also, okay, yeah. So I wanted to
Uh,
talk how they're trying to create empathy for freaking Asa Butterfield's character. One is because his like
yeah,
superiors are putting him in these situations where he has to confront these bullies. And there speaks like, oh
yeah,
man, he has to face these bullies. Oh, how tough is that? And then he's like, oh, he likes his sister, or he can't communicate with her. Oh, that sucks. Even though they're sisters, even less developed than Haley Steinfeld. And then he's like, oh, he might have anger issues, and he might destroy some stuff because his brother also has anger issues. And as we all know, anger issues are hereditary. They're genetic. If you have a brother who has anger issues, you definitely do. Yeah, the music is also way too prominent. It's not. It's trying to be grandiose. It was trying to be what like Kong and Godzilla's score was trying to be in a lot. But there was like really like prominent music for scenes that like
didn't really need it.
yeah, that really didn't need, like the one where he's like shooting stuff and he becomes good at everything in 5 seconds. So he has like no character
Ah,
development. And I think that's
nice.
a complaint people had about like Rey's character in The Force Awakens is
Yeah,
how she became so good at everything immediately. But in this
yeah,
movie it's like it's even less reductive because like there's nothing else to really focus on other than this one character who's like kind of weak. Um,
yeah,
as I was saying, the editing's also very not good. Like that one
yeah.
scene where he's like spinning, he's like doing that thing in the game where it's supposed to be impressive. But it then just cuts, and we don't have any idea what happened. Um, there was that one kid. You remember Bonzo? That guy, the short
Barely.
one.
Honestly, I watched
Um,
this movie 2 days ago and I remember very little about the characters.
yeah,
How do you
okay.
how do you remember them? But did you
Because
watch it today or
I
something?
just watched it this morning, so I kind of
Ah, well, that
it's
makes
still pretty
sense.
fresh in my mind. Yeah. Um,
Yeah,
he's in this like this kind of art movie that I think I don't know if I quickly mentioned this on the 2019 list. Monos, um, which is like a Chilean art house kind of movie. And he almost played the exact same character. And honestly, I think I think he's my pick for the strongest actor in this movie because I somewhat enjoyed how like campy and angry he was as a character. He
yeah.
was just it was very simple. It wasn't trying to have any depth to it, and he
Oh,
was like, and in that way, I think he's like almost the best character because every other character is supposed to have like moral ambiguity or like some
yeah.
like conflict, and like there really isn't much being created there. Yeah,
No, that's a good point,
pretty
honestly.
weak film.
But as far as the score, though, what would you give this?
Um, I gave it a 4 out of 10. I guess it's closer to a
Yeah,
5 than a 3. I guess it's not awful.
yeah.
It's definitely not anything
Yeah.
remarkable at all.
I'd probably give it around a 4.5 to be honest. I'm sorry, I'm really falling asleep here just thinking about this thing, man. It's just, oh my God. Uh, I'm trying not to be too harsh, but like at the same time, it's
You know,
just,
I think this movie deserves a lot of criticism. It makes sense why it didn't make money at the box office. I feel a little bit bad for this director because I think he's been a little bit screwed over by studios because he made a decent movie. Like, he made one good movie, apparently.
what movie was it?
It's called Eye in the Sky. I haven't seen it. Apparently it's decent, though.
Eye in the Sky. Hold on, I actually think I know that. That's with what's it called?
Helen
What's
Mirren
his name?
and Aaron Paul and Alan Rickman and
Yeah, no,
Erica
I heard that
Abdi.
was actually really. I
Yeah,
think I
apparently
may
it
have
was. It's
watched it
on.
actually.
Yeah, I think it was pretty solid. Apparently.
Yeah, no,
Um,
it's 95 on Rotten Tomatoes and 70 good.
yeah, that's
So
pretty good.
yeah,
Um,
also features the last live action performance of Alan Rick. Huh.
really? That's his
Yeah,
last.
there you go.
Jeez. Okay. Um, I want to. Yeah, I think that's all we have to talk about the movies. I wanted to quickly go over maybe a couple things that we watched this past week as our last little segment before we wrap up.
All right, sure.
Aiden, do you have anything else you'd want to mention that you watched this week?
All right. Well, I've been watching a lot of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That's been pretty fun to be honest with you. I mean, I like this series. I don't know if you have had a chance to take a
I've
look at it
watched
yet.
it.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
okay.
I think the first episode was a little bit weak, but I think after that it's really picked up to be honest. So I've liked where the series is going, and I'm excited for where
Yeah,
it's going to continue to go.
I think the most recent episode is definitely the strongest one. The other two are about the
Yeah,
same quality for me. And they're
yeah,
okay. They're all like around a 7. If I had to rate each episode, they're all
yeah.
around a 7, and that's where the show is
That's
currently
kind of
for
what
me.
most Marvel properties are, though. To be honest, I mean, there's obviously there's a few exceptions, a
Yeah.
few standouts there, but for the most part, they are mainly just around 7.
Yeah, which is like I can't get too mad at that. But also like
No,
I don't know.
yeah,
I feel like they should be trying something a little bit more new. And the only new thing
yeah.
they're really trying is like some political commentary, which I don't know if that works too well for the series. We'll have to see where it tries to
That's
go
not
with
too
that.
bad.
It's
I
not
mean, I
bad.
think,
It's definitely
yeah,
not
but I think it's
good. It's
not
not
bad to explore,
elevating it.
like, I guess, kind of like how, someone like Sam Wilson would, I guess, react to, like, this, because it is the real world that this is supposed to take place, and albeit
Yeah.
a very sensationalized one,
Yeah, of
right?
course. Where they're
But like, yeah, no, all that stuff like just exists, and the only film we've really seen tackle that has been Black Panther, right? And I think it's
from a
nice to get more
Marvel.
of a
From Marvel. Let's
from
clarify
Marvel.
this.
That's what I'm
Okay, I
trying to
was about to
say. I'm
say,
sorry.
yeah, you need to
I'm
be
a,
careful there. Chief is like saying
no,
Marvel. Imagine saying Marvel movie is the only one who's talked about.
no, yeah, no, but like I
Yeah,
mean, yeah,
yeah,
like
no,
it's nice. It was nice to see like another perspective,
yeah,
the American experience in like a superhero film. I think it's not bad. To be honest, I
yeah,
think it's something that hasn't really been explored before. I guess before like these
yeah.
films came out, right? But yeah,
Sure. I don't
it's
think
good.
it elevates the movie though. It's the
The
show.
TV series.
It's a TV series.
Yeah,
Show. TV
yeah.
show.
Streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you
Cool.
wanted to quickly mention?
Ooh. No, actually, I haven't. I only really watched those two things this week, man, because I had a lot of work, photography and law, so I've been
Okay.
trying to just stay on that. But
All right.
yeah, it's mainly just been a lot of Family Guy, like a lot of TV shows, like Family
Okay.
Guy, Scrubs. I like that stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah. How about you, man?
Yeah. So I actually this week on Friday, I went with my friend and we went to the drive-in theater that's near us. Yeah.
Ooh,
I'd
nice.
never been to a drive-in before. I do have a few complaints about it. First of all, just naturally because of how it works, the spots are very much differing in quality, like even more than like a normal movie theater. And they kept the signs on, so it kind of interfered with the viewing experience. Because first of
What
all, it was
signs?
smaller than you'd want, really, and then the signs also didn't help. And there was also constant cars turning on in their headlights, so that was getting in the way. And then there was a really stupid rule, which I don't know if it's their fault. Like, they're trying to follow COVID restrictions because of this. But normally you can have two cars within a set of poles, but now that you can only have one because social distancing. But you're in a
Yeah.
car, so you should be naturally social distance. So I really don't get the point of that. Plus, this like random Mercedes pulled in the middle of the first. There was two. It was like double feature. and pulled
Yeah.
in like in front of us in the first movie doing the double spot, and like one of the employees just walked right past and didn't care, even though it was the same guy who had like knocked on our window earlier when we originally did a double spot because we thought it would be fine. So that was
It's
annoying.
racist. It's
Um,
racist.
that was annoying.
I don't even know why I said that. I'm sorry. That was
Yeah,
really
that was a
inappropriate.
weird thing to say.
I'm sorry. I'm tired,
It's
man. This
okay.
fucking the Ender's Game really took a lot out of me.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I do want to tell you
Yeah.
about a movie I'm very excited about. It's
Yeah.
my third favorite movie of 2021 so far. And you know, I don't think it's objectively the best movie. It's around. I don't know. I think it's better than Godzilla vs Kong, but barely objectively. But I really enjoyed it. It's called Nobody.
Oh, with Bob Odenkirk from Better Call Saul,
from
right?
Better Call Saul, and I very much enjoy
Yeah.
that show, and I enjoy him as an actor, and he brings that energy into this movie. And you know, I think it's very similar to John Wick, but I think
Yeah.
if you like call it a John Wick film, obviously it isn't, but if you call it that,
Yeah.
it's my favorite of those. Personally, I
Yeah.
really loved it. I think it's a lot more. I think it's more creative than John Wick. It's maybe about the same technical quality, but I think it's more creative than like any of the John Wick films.
Question.
Personally, yeah,
Question.
I've seen all
By
of them.
creative, how do you mean?
For example, there's this one scene on a bus where like there's a fight scene on a bus, and they use like every little element of the fight scene for both like It's kind of like, you know how Hot Fuzz is like an action comedy. This is like that, except it's more action. But there's also like obviously John Wick doesn't have a lot of comedy, but this one doesn't like. Its focuses more on the action, but also the comedy that they include doesn't sacrifice the action. That's what I definitely got to say. And it uses like every part of the bus to be creative and utilize it in the fight. And the stunt work is very well done, especially for like, you know, Bob Odenkirk's not a young man, but he's really, you know, he's doing a good job at, you know.
It's crazy to think
Yeah.
though that Bob Odenkirk is only 2 years older than Keanu Reeves. That is,
Yeah.
if you think of it.
And and that's why I kept in mind they're not that much different in age, and you know you gotta respect for Keanu for keeping on that hustle as John Wick, but I also think it's very impressive for Bob Odenkirk's not exactly known as an action star though, and in this movie,
no, yeah.
and that's kind of the point of the movie. You look at him, he's not the kind of guy who would be an action person, but like he kind of turns into that character. Also, Doc Brown, Christopher Lloyd's in this movie. He's pretty he's in a couple of cool scenes. He's funny. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's the same cinematographer who works with Ari Aster most of the time. Midsommar and Hereditary, and I can definitely notice that because the cinematography is very well done. And the story is very fun. I don't know who wrote the script, but it's a pretty fun. Like it's obviously very simple, but it's very fun and pretty smart most of the time. So I enjoyed it.
Well, that's great. Yeah. I'll have to check it out. Actually, I was really interested to see that once I saw the first trailer. So.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it. It's definitely good.
Yeah.
I also saw News of the World, which before had a good amount of hype to get nominated for Best Picture. I can see why it definitely didn't. It didn't. It's very long. It's like the length. It's only 2 hours, but it's long as in the pacing kind of sucks, especially in the end.
Yeah.
It's super slow, and it really shouldn't be. It was very slow, but the cinematography, I gotta say, definitely deserved its nomination. It's very good. I definitely don't think it should win, but it was worthy of its nomination. And Helena Zengel is pretty good in it, the little girl. She did pretty good job. Tom Hanks is Tom Hanks. He's good. It's one of them, like the definition of a standard Tom Hanks performance. Yeah. And I think I think it might have been better if it was shot on film. Obviously that's a stupid, I don't know, it sounds pretentious, but I think it probably would have worked better for this kind of like Western type of movie they were doing. The production designs, like I can understand why they gave it all the Oscar nominations they get. They're all pretty good. The score is good, but it's not very prominent in the movie, so I was a bit surprised it was pretty locked in. It got a lot of precursors and stuff. It was being nominated everywhere. It felt pretty sure. I'm kind of surprised at that.
But you don't think it was better than what's it called? Do you think that score was better than Tenet?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, good.
Tenet's score is better. Well, actually, I would probably nominate it personally, at least, over everything in that category.
Yeah.
I'm
still mad about that, man. You have no idea.
It's very unfortunate. I also watched Aliens. It's okay. James Cameron. And he brings some of his stupidity here, but I gotta say, it's much better than, like, Avatar.
The first one.
I
like
liked
the
it
first
better than
Alien.
the first one. I don't think it's that much
Yeah.
better. It's about the same quality. I think I liked it more because it had like more action movie rather than being a horror movie. Because I didn't like that campy horror space movie that Alien
Yeah.
was going for. I liked more what this movie was going for. But there's also some dumb James Cameron. There's a couple of dumb story moments, and there's these close-ups that are very useless. And I don't know why James and his cinematographer chose to do those. They were very dumb. That's the one thing I remember not liking about the film. And like I said, I talked about a little about the Stomper thing, and it's like people praise that as a great screenwriting thing. Like, it's okay, it's good. It's definitely not bad, but it's not like, oh, brilliant, James Cameron, big brain. No, not really.
It's just a good Sigourney Weaver moment.
yeah,
I don't even think that should.
I don't think she's that great an actress, but I think she's
still very iconic.
she's good, and she fits
Yeah.
the role very well. I can't deny that. My last recommendation I want to quickly give you is this movie called Feels Good Man. We'll talk about it on the 2020 list because it's in my top 10 now. It is a great documentary about Pepe the Frog, and now I know that sounds kind of. Have you heard of this movie yet? Yes, I'm joking.
I mean, I've heard of Pepe the Frog, but like, there's a documentary.
Yes,
about
and
it.
it's a riveting one that has a lot of relevant social themes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, I think we should try to wrap this episode up. I'm talking a little bit about the movies. I did want to share this one last thing that I think is kind of funny. So I have this Cars 2 DVD, and I slapped a little something on it. Yeah. I don't know if you
Okay, I
see
was
it.
gonna say for a second, like, what website did you get that from?
Yeah, no, I got this. I just recently got a Blu-ray for a great movie that you underrate, If Beale Street Could Talk, and this sticker was on it. And I was like, oh, it's a sticker. I can slap it on this because it's kind of funny looking. Plus, it doesn't. I hate when they slap this on like discs now because it's like they never work with the color scheme. Like there's a graphic designer made this, and then you just slap a tomato on it. It's like kind of disrespectful in my opinion. Anyways, yeah. That's the end of the episode. Oh, it's my choice. Oh shit.
Yeah, what do you got?
Fuck, I don't know. I didn't think about this at all.
It's okay.
I'm gonna quickly pause the video, but I'm gonna quickly do the wrap up at the end. I'll quickly announce it. Thank you so much for watching this episode. Make sure to go follow Aiden at GBD Reviews. Make sure to check out my channel at Reviewing. And yeah, hopefully one day we'll actually get Eric on the podcast. See you guys next time. Still, but we're gonna pick. Each of us has a pick. So mine's gonna be the Yorgos Lanthimos movie from 2017 called The Killing of Sacred Deer. Didn't get much Oscar attention. Might as well mention that. All of his other movies have a little bit, but it's still a pretty good movie. Apparently, it's pretty weird. Apparently, so Yorgos is a weird director. I'll say that, Aiden. So prepare yourself.
Yeah.
Definitely don't expect normalcy. Weird people. And Aiden, I believe you have a recommendation.
All right, well, fuck it. I guess we're doing Zero Dark 30 then, man.
Okay.
Let's do that one. I know it's a bit long, but trust me, I think you'll like it. It's just there's a few brutal scenes of torture, but it's still a nice movie.
All right. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
All right.
So those are going to be the movies we talk about next week. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video.